I'm on Anaconda Navigator. So let me just show you the version of this. So currently it's Anaconda Navigator 2.5.0, and I'm making use of all of these environments at base level or root level. You have other options like ADL, CV, Anaconda 3, CV, all of that. I'll be working on Jupyter Notebook. So when I click on launch, it will redirect me to a web page where I've already created a folder called Python for Beginners. So here you have a lot of options to go with. You can upload a file from a directory or create a new one, go with another Python notebook. And coming over here, you will have the files, all that is displayed here, running, clusters, all of this. So coming back to files, so let's go ahead and create another Python notebook. It will redirect me to another tab. So here, this is the first line, and here is the space where the code with the business logic is typed. Let's take a very simple program in Python, that is to print a statement. In Python, the keyword used is print, and open the function by using parenthesis and type the statement or the sentence that you want. So we'll go ahead and type how are you, okay, give an exclamation mark. But if you observe in this, print is the keyword, and inside the function we have given how are you. Okay, let's go ahead and run this. Click on run and it gives you an error. What is an error? Invalid syntax. Perhaps you forgot a comma. Well, in Python you should give the statement or the sentence within quotes. The quotes can be single quotes or double quotes. Run this again. Look at that, it prints the statement. Now, how are you? So if I wanted this particular piece of statement, this particular sentence to be printed with the quotes, then how do I do it? So let's take off this sentence and let us print again. I'll use the same thing, and it also gives you the prompt, which makes things even easier and quicker and saves a lot of time. First, we'll go ahead with the single quotes followed by the double quotes. Then we'll type how are you. Now look at that, the cursor is blinking on this line, this piece of line, and not on this. So if I click on the first one and if I say run, the same thing will be executed, and this particular thing will not get executed. If I want this to be executed individually, I click on the cell that has to be executed and then click on run. With that, I get it along with the quotes. What if I wanted with single quotes? Then print, open the double quotes, then the single quotes, and type how are you or whatever you want to type. Since the cursor is blinking on this cell, I'll say run. So here we have three types of output. One is just a normal one, how are you. Second one along with the quotes, that is the double quotes, as you can see. And the third one is with the single quotes. And Python is case sensitive. Now I cannot give a command like print like this. So if I give it like that, it will throw an error at me. Look at that, it says print is not defined. It is case sensitive, so give it with the lower case and run, it will print that. This is the way you're going to print. Now let's go through the data types in Python. So I'll take a variable a, assign it with the value 5. Print a, you can directly give print 5, yes, that will work. Now if you want to perform some operations with 5, then you can assign 5 to a and proceed with the program. Now I'll say run, it prints 5. I'm using a Mac. Command and enter will just execute that cell, but if you want it to act like a run, this one, then let the cursor blink in the cell which has to be executed, and then you have to make use of the keys shift and enter. Let me show you with another example. b is equal to 10. Print b. Shift and enter. Look at that, it prints b, the value of b, that is 10. Let's come over here and print the type of b, what type it is, what data type exactly is b. Close the parenthesis correctly. So it says class int, which is perfect. Now we'll look at the data type float. So c is equal to, c is just a variable name, you can give any name you want, 1.5, and we'll say print type. Type is a keyword there, type of c, and it says float. We'll go with another type, that is d is equal to, I'm just going in alphabetical order, a, b, c, d, you can take anything you want. As I mentioned before, we use double quotes or single quotes to represent string in Python. So we'll use double quotes and we'll print hello. Now we'll go ahead and print the type. It says str, that is string. So we'll try something with boolean. True. Python is case sensitive, so the t is in uppercase followed by all the letters in lowercase. So we'll print type of e. Okay, it says bool, which is boolean. When we want to store some value or some data inside a variable, we need a variable name in Python. What is a valid variable name in Python? Let's go through that. So the first thing to look out for is not to use any Python keyword like int or float. You cannot give int is equal to 5, float is equal to 5. No. Now if I give int is equal to 5 and if I say print int, it will definitely print 5, but later on wherever I make use of int data type, I'll have issues dealing with int data type or the data which deals with integers. Let's execute this and see. Look at that, it gives 5. I used a keyword, it gave 5. That is the first thing. Next, the name of the variable should not start with a number. For example, 1 underscore num is equal to 6. Print 1 underscore num. It throws an error because it starts with 1. Now instead of giving 1 num, that is the first number, I can give something like num1, num underscore 1, and change it over here too. It prints 6. So when we see underscore here, this brings us to hyphen. We cannot use hyphen like num1. It takes it as a difference operator like subtraction. Let's see the error what it gives. So it gives cannot assign an expression here. Maybe you meant is equal to instead of is equal to. So that was the error. Or we can even give num1, 1 num or any variable name with immediate number, any number, even that will work. We learned how to use print statement, how to print specific type of sentences inside the print statement. It may be using the double quotes, single quotes within double quotes, or double quotes within single quotes, all of that. And then we learned the data types in Python and how to see each type. So we saw int, float, string and boolean. And we also learned how to use variable names in Python. Now let us see how to accept user input in Python. Now let us take a variable name. I'll take I. Okay, I is just a variable name. It is for taking input in this program. I can take II or IIP, whatever I want I can take as a variable name, provided it satisfies some constraints of the Python syntax. I is equal to, we need the input. Python is more like a natural language programming. Just type the way you say. Input is the keyword. just input, it's a function, open the parenthesis, give the custom message. So I'll say enter the first number. Suppose I want to print the square of that number, entered number, then print that entered number is stored in I. So print I into I, or you could even make use of math functions using power of I comma 2. We'll run this. So it's asking you to enter the first number, so we'll go with a smaller number, 4. Enter. It gives me an error. Why? Because in Python, if you just ask for input, it takes it as a string. By default, Python considers any input without any explicit mentioning of data types as string. So whatever input I is going to take will be of integer type. Here I am explicitly mentioning the type, that is integer. We'll run this. Enter the first number, we'll go with 4 again. Int object is not callable. Now that is because I used int is equal to 5 over here. Now if I remove that and make it as n is equal to 5, and if I print n, look at that, it shows in, that is also a keyword because it's bold, n, and I execute that, then I execute this, then I execute this, and then I give it as 4. So now let's go ahead and try with float. Instead of int, we'll try float. Float is another keyword or a data type in Python. So let us give 4. We get it. 4 into 4 is 16. If I were to give int, I would get only 16. Since I've given float explicitly, it will give me 16.0. If there's no decimal value after the point, it will give 0. It's that simple. Now we'll take another variable, j is equal to float. The reason it caused some problem with the int data type is because previously I had initialized int to 5. So it did not consider int as a data type, it considered int as a variable name. So that's one drawback of Python. It doesn't throw an error when you use the data types as variable names, but it causes this problem. So we'll take another number, float, input. Giving the custom message is optional, but giving the parenthesis is very important. And now we'll perform something a bit interesting. Print, open the parenthesis, j plus j. Now if you observe, when we were printing some statements or custom statements from our side, how are you with question mark, how are you with exclamatory mark, all of that, we used quotes, double quotes or single quotes. But here when we refer some object or a variable, or we want to print something, if it's not a statement, it's a value, mathematical value or a data type. Even here if you see type, I did not give any quotes here, so we don't give quotes in this case. Now it's working. So we'll take a simple number. Since we have given it as float, I'll take 6.5. It should give me the value 13. Okay, so we get that. So in this video we looked at how to print a custom message, that is by using double quotes and single quotes. And how do you print a custom message? By using single quotes and double quotes in your output. Then we went through a bunch of data types, that is int, float, string and boolean. Then we learned some rules to use variables in Python, and then we performed some operations like multiplication and addition by accepting numbers with float data type and printing them. So with this, I conclude this video. Subscribe this channel for more. Give this video a big like if you have liked this video, and thanks for watching.